Welcome back to Pulse. I'm Sreenath Sreenivasan and I'm talking to Chef Vikas Khanna. Vikas, you're telling us about your story. Here you were, young boy from Amritsar, became a chef, graduated from one of the best schools, and then you went back to Amritsar to pick up your catering business, which your mom was running, right? And then,
Yes.
so let's finish up the story.
My mom was doing great according to what standards she had in mind, and but when I went there, I said that we have to do this professionally.
So what does that mean? So you invested
Professionally
money.
means that we need to have a proper system of parties. We need to have proper catering outlets. We need to do this. Kitchen has to be the most professional kitchen people have seen. It has to speak about my caliber, my education, my exposure, and my training. So I started redoing my kitchen, and they thought, this was crazy. Why do you need to put all these good quality stainless steel equipment and everything? But after some time, we realized that it had a great output.
And
like,
so then,
I used to get calls from Delhi and everywhere. Like some ministers are coming. During that, they were trying to negotiate with India and Pakistan. So we used to a lot of ministers coming to Amritsar and all. So all they wanted was catering. They wanted good food, and
so they were coming to you instead of going to the local five-star hotel.
Five-star hotels. And like we have 4-star hotel, which is a major one there. So even we used to get the contracts. And it was funny was that all these big hotels and all the established restaurants, whenever they had an event and they wanted to have the best food, they'd always come to us.
Okay. So they secretly were coming to you, huh?
They were secretly coming to me and all the time. But it was great because
But you also need, I mean, that's what I want to get into, that it isn't more than just the cooking, right? It's also the presentation, it's also the wait staff. I mean, all of that has to work together if you're trying to do a business. Because I meet, women and men who think they're good cooks and they think, well, then I can run a catering business. But there's more to it than that, right?
There's much more to it. It's like, and the most important thing about catering business, it's so much manpower intensive and such long hours. You cannot even blink if you have a big catering going on. They'll be dancing till 4 o'clock. You have to be standing till 4 o'clock. You want to make sure that all the staff is consistently serving them. Everything is presented in the way you began doing it at the beginning of the party, because people are rating you at some point.
So you're saying that it's easy to do the 6 o'clock cocktails, right? But the
It's
3 a.m. is where
it's easier because the first shift would begin at 9 o'clock, and I have to be back in my banquets at 9 o'clock.
Right.
And I was so obsessive about quality that in the morning I would go to buy my vegetables and meats, everything fresh. But it was great fun because Amritsar it's a very agricultural place, and my quality of vegetables and everything. And I used to tell my mom, just relax, let me get the vegetables in the morning. And she said, you need some rest. I said, that's a therapy for me when I'm selecting vegetables. And all the people, they still call me. All the people who used to, we call it Sabzi Mandi. Excuse me. And those people were like so generous. Like they'll know that any new vegetable in the market, I'm the only person who's going to buy it, because I'll be creating something new out of it.
So how did you leave Amritsar? Why did you leave Amritsar? It sounded like you had everything.
A lot of credit goes to my sister for that. My sister came with my mom to US, and that is when she started insisting, your place is New York. You cannot do anything.
Was she living here at the time? Or
she was not.
So she just
visited New York with my mother. And my mother, and I thought, my mom would not be able to survive, we're very close. And I said, but she was the happiest person when I decided, Mom, let me do that.
Okay.
And, we had some issues with the space and everything, and the changing night of my life was we had a fight in the banquets between 2 different parties.
Not over your food?
Not over the food. They had some issues.
Too much alcohol, right?
Too much alcohol. We know that there are no liquor laws or something, And it was like, that really upset me. I said, I can spend my whole life here but without any recognition, even if I have to perform on the world stage. But that got into my subconscious mind.
Okay.
So when my sister started insisting about New York, but I always thought on the back of my mind that I have to study from the CIA. That's the Culinary Institute of America.
Not the other CIA.
Not the other CIA. Okay. No link there. And I started checking on the possibilities of studying and everything. But I even went to the American embassy. I told them everything truthfully. That I'm never going to come back if. But once I landed in Manhattan, I thought this is home. This is like.
Okay.
And the restaurants.
So you told the American embassy you're not going to come back?
I'm not going to come back.
And they still gave you a visa?
He said, go and live your life.
Really?
And that guy could speak Hindi It was so surprising, and he kept
You were
staring at me.
an immigration or diplomatic officer.
Yeah,
and
but I
consular
went through
officer.
a long interview, and my mother was with me, and my mom said, you will be surprised the way he can cook. Like, and he kept looking. He said, you know what? I want America to taste your food.
And he
gave me 10 years visa for my
God.
first American trip, for my first trip in abroad.
Oh my God! And you were obviously single, and there was no reason.
There was no
ties
reason.
to come back, right?
And he could tell I'm never going to come back.
And you told them that. Normally, people go and say
1 week.
Yeah, or they say I have property, I have family, I'll come back.
He did not look at my file of what I've done. He didn't look at my resumes and everything.
So he just talked to you about cooking.
He was a foodie.
Okay.
I get along very well with foodies.
Okay.
He said, America needs to taste your food.
Amazing. And so you come to New York, and when did you arrive in New York?
I arrived in New York in December 10th.
Of what year?
Of 2000.
Okay, you've only been here 5 years, and you've done a lot.
Almost four years, few months.
Yeah.
And I came here and I went to CIA straight away because I thought that's a temple of culinary arts.
Mm-hmm.
It's so expensive. Then I came back to New York. I started working on the Upper West Side as a dishwasher. I used to give flyers on Central Park. I did all the odd jobs that I have to survive first.
But how did it feel to go from being a kind of a big fish in a small pond, and then you come here and you're a dishwasher, you're handing out flyers? Must have been very difficult, right? And for your mom, was your mom here also?
No.
So, but you didn't tell her what was going on?
By myself. They thought, I'm going to get admission in a big college. Right. And you know how when you leave India and anyone comes to US, they think, oh, the person is a multimillionaire and everything. Right. Yeah. But we really have to work very hard.
Sure. So you're sort of doing all these odd jobs, and then what happened?
Yeah, I was doing all these odd jobs, and I got my admissions through NYU. Mm-hmm. But it was very hard for me to pay the fees and everything. I didn't want to ask my parents for anything, but I had saved substantial amount that I can study now.
Right.
But I started studying there. Then I went to Salam Bombay for a job,
which is a restaurant here in New York.
Which is one of the top Indian restaurants in New York.
Sure.
And they were so considerate about what I want to pursue in my life, and they gave me a job working part-time, sometimes full-time.
As a chef? You
at the front and the back.
Okay.
But I would take care of everything because running my own business, I knew that you have to fill in all the blanks.
All right, well, let's take a break here, and we're going to continue my conversation with Vikas Khanna, and he's also going to give us some tips on how you can appreciate food better, and also, if you're interested in being a chef, he'll give you his thoughts on that. Please stay tuned.